Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Matt here, doing another impromptu video at the workbench today. I just received something in the mail, so I thought I'd make a video on it. Got a lot of people ask me at matches what these white vinyl tapes are that we run on our scope turrets, and these are from Indoor Dryfire Training System. We call it the Ballistic tape. And these tapes are very handy to have. We run them on most of our scopes that we compete with. Here you're looking at my Razor Gen 3 on my main rimfire PRS competition rifle. And I've been running these tapes for several seasons now with really good success. And this rifle here is my wife's production rifle. That's her Match Pro ED. And you can see here that she's also running the IDTS Ballistic turret tape. So what these are, they're simply just a vinyl sticker that you put on your turret, and it allows you to mark them up with any sort of marker. So you can even use permanent marker. I personally use wet erase, but you can also use dry erase, anything similar to that. And you essentially, with your marker, just mark the elevation adjustments that you need to use during a stage. These are great for stages like troop lines, or that have multiple targets, or if you're just worried about time management on a stage and having to match up your dope card to your turret, you can mark them ahead of time and essentially put your dope card on your turret and make things go a lot faster. So my wife is basically dyslexic under stress, so she'll take the time before stage to mark up her turrets and make sure that she's not misreading her dope card on the clock. So I think that's been really beneficial to her. She uses the IDTS ballistic tape here very heavily during her matches. And me personally, you won't see me mark up my tapes very often at all anymore, but a secondary benefit of having this ballistic tape on your scope is the fact that they're just very legible. Because of those bold black colors on the white tape, the contrast of that just makes it really easy to read your turret really quickly. So I still run them even though I don't mark them up very often, but when I do want to mark them up, it's very handy for that. So you can see there we got our scopes with the tapes and even our backup scopes. I've purchased a few strips for those as well. I just got some more in the mail today because I need to put some on a few scopes here. I got two of them. The first one is my second Razor Gen 3 that I've been running on my centerfire. So I've never had a tape on this one, so I finally picked one up. And the next one is for, this is the reason why I made the order, it's for my wife's new Night Force ATAC R. So I finally purchased some more tapes, and I thought I would just make a video and install them, show you how it goes. What's really nice, if you only purchase the turret tapes from him, he ships them in a regular mail envelope, so shipping is free, at least in Canada. I'm not sure worldwide. But we'll go ahead and open this up. Just make sure I'm not going to be ripping through anything. And of course I did. I think this is just the invoice. Actually just a piece of paper, probably to keep it from bending. I got a sticker as well. So this again is the company IDTS, Indoor Dryfire Training System, who makes a really good dry fire training system, by the way, for PRS. But these are what we're talking about today. So again, just vinyl stickers, and when you purchase these ballistic tapes, they come in a package of 3. So I have them for 3 different scopes here. NF Night Force for my wife, Razor Gen 3, and this one's for my friend for his Apex Rival. We just bulked our order together. So these are the 2 we're going to be using today. Again, it comes with 3 strips each, which is great. And I found the durability of these to be really, really good. The one on the Bushnell Match Pro AD is the original one, and the one on my Razor is the second strip. And the first one I replaced was not because it wore out or because it was peeling off. It's actually because I sent the scope in to Vortex Canada to get some work done on the turrets, and when they sent it back to me, I guess they removed the tape or put a new turret on that. So that's why I had to use a second strip. But that was already after 2 seasons, and it was still in perfectly serviceable condition. So I've never actually had to replace one of these strips once I put them on the scope. So the fact that they come with 3 should last you a long time, or if you have a buddy that runs the same scope as you, you can obviously share it amongst yourselves. All right, I don't think I have to do both scopes on camera here, but I'll do the Razor Gen 3 here with the strips, and you do have to buy strips specific to your scope model. I think that's pretty obvious because all turrets are different diameters and different heights and stuff. So make sure you select the proper scope from your or from the drop-down menu when you're ordering. And if you don't see your scope on the list, you can send him an email. He'll get you to just measure with calipers like the I believe is the diameter of your turret, and then he can make one for you if you tell him how many MRAD it is per revolution with some simple math. So I'm just sort of laying it over here to see if it fits. I have no doubts that it will, but that's going to work fine. And you do want to obviously line up these zeros. Now you can just throw this on here. I've seen people, you know, get this from a buddy at a match and throw it on immediately, which is fine. But I like to just take some rubbing alcohol and just clean the turret surface so I know that it's free of residue or oils from my fingers. I also believe that proper surface prep probably helps with the longevity of the sticker, because if you're putting it on an oily surface or a surface with dirt, the sticker probably won't last as long. And I probably have really good luck with the longevity of my turret tapes because I surface prep. Again, takes like 10 seconds just to spray a little bit of alcohol on a paper towel, wipe down the turret surface, and then just let it air dry for a few seconds before putting this turret tape on it. Now, because I've done so many scopes with these IDTS turret tapes, my recommendation would be to take your time and really line up the markings as best as you can, and keep tension as you go around, but don't pull the sticker because the vinyl does have some stretch to it, and you don't want to stretch it because when you end up matching the ends, you don't want them to overlap, because that'll be an indication that it's not a proper fit around your turret. So I'm going to go ahead here and line up the zero as best as possible. And then again, while keeping one side a little bit taut without pulling it, I'll just rotate the turret around and let it apply to the surface. Doing very small corrections to try and keep it as straight as possible. And then, so I can tell he hand cuts these. So for example, you can see the line there. I'm not sure you can see it. That black line at the very end is going to overlap the first edge a little bit. So I'm just going to take some scissors and snip that off as carefully as possible. Again, I'm just a bit anal when it comes to stuff like this. There you go. So that's a little bit better. And it looks like it lined up pretty good. Yeah, so that's pretty good. So the edges don't overlap. You can see the beginning there. I do like how the zero is sort of reversed colors, so it's a very easy indication. And that is my second Razor Gen 3 done up with the turret tape. So to give you a better demonstration of how you would mark these up in a stage, very straightforward. But these are the wet erase markers that we use. My wife keeps a pack in her range bag, and I have a pack in my tripod caddy. You can even get fancy and match targets to certain colors. I'm pretty lazy, so I generally only use one color. But let's say our first target is at like 2.4. So I can mark 2.4, and then the next target's at like, let's say 6.5. So I'll mark 6.5. And then for an example of when I would use another color, let's say our next target would be at 13 mils. So I would use a new color to indicate that it's in the second revolution. So let's use like a red, like so. So again, the first target at 2.4, like there. And then the second target, you can dial straight to 6.5. And then the next target, you know, since it's red for the second revolution, you keep going until you hit the red marking. A really quick way to indicate your target elevation solutions when you're shooting a stage, and a lot of people find that this benefits them a lot. With the wet erase markers, if you don't wait too long, you can just rub them right off. Or if they air dry for a little bit, you will need a little bit of moisture in order to take them off the tape. And if you even use permanent markers, which some guys do, you just need a little bit of like hand sanitizer or rubbing alcohol to take permanent marker off. That's probably better if you're shooting in wet conditions. because wet erase markers will just wipe right off. I wouldn't recommend dry erase because sometimes when you go to turn your turret, if you're not careful, your finger will just graze the marking and it'll just completely erase it, which I have seen before. So just be careful about that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and throw another strip onto my wife's Night Force, but it's the same process, so I'm not going to have that on video. I just wanted to talk about these turret tapes because a lot of people ask me where I get them from. And again, it's IDTS. I'm not sponsored by IDTS. I bought these with my own money, but it's a great product that really does help a lot of people be a little bit more efficient on the clock. All right, I kind of wanted to show this. I tried something a little bit different for Dory's ATAC-R turret because we were discussing it, and it's a 12 MRAD per revolution turret, which means it's a little bit more confusing on the clock to dial into your second revolution. Like if you need 14 mils, it's not just 4. You'd actually dial to the 2, which again, on the clock, my wife doesn't have the most processing power with her brain. So she was worried she was going to misread the IDTS sticker because you can see these just put the big numbers. So it would end at 11 and then this would be 12, but there's no marking for that. Whereas on the actual ATAC-R turret, it actually has a marking for the second revolution. So we thought we would try this. I just simply took a straight edge with an X-Acto knife and I just cut the numbers off. So she can still mark the turret down here, but reference the rev indicator numbers on the actual turret itself. I don't know how this is gonna work. I thought I would just show it. It's a lot less surface area for adhesion, so I don't know if this is gonna start peeling faster or whatever. And it's also less room to mark on the turret, because sometimes what she'll like to do is she'll mark her elevation solution and then perhaps draw the shape of the target and stuff like that. Obviously you won't be able to do it with such little surface area to work with on the white erase surface, but we'll try this for a little bit, see how it goes. Again, it gives her a little bit of space to mark on the bottom, but she can still reference the 12, 13, 14, 15 numbers on the second revolution indications. And yeah, we'll just see how it works. Let me know what you think, if there's a better solution for this. Again, if we don't like it, at least it comes with 3 strips, so we can just peel this one off and put on one of the full-size ones. But I thought I would just show that because it is something a little bit different. I haven't seen anyone do this before with an IDTS turret tape. And if it doesn't work out, maybe I'll update you guys in the future. But that's how I have it set up right now for my wife's rifle scope with 12 MRAD per revolution turrets.